So how is कैसा था फर्स्ट सेमेस्टर?
It was pretty hectic. समराइज करूंगा एक वर्ड में. I was very new to this क्योंकि मैंने just civil engineering से graduate किया इसी साल and I joined IDC. And it was very new for me to, and I was also new to the softwares. I didn't knew software पहले से like Photoshop ये सब. So yeah, it was very hectic for me.
वही हेक्टिक था. वो तो वेरी बहुत फास्ट है, बहुत भगाते हैं, मतलब इतने असाइनमेंट्स है ना भाई, can't tell you.
We had like 10 modules एक semester में, तो you can think
10 modules मतलब
10 subjects.
subjects. हाँ, in the
Yes.
first semester.
The first
Oh
semester.
भाई.
Yes.
Oh भाई साहब.
But that too in like 4 months. It started in like September, October, November. 3 months.
Okay.
3 months.
अरे बाप रे, ये तो गजब हो गया यार. 10 सब्जेक्ट ज्यादा है यार. We had 5 and हम लोग को फिर भी बहुत ज्यादा लगा था 5. What were your subjects? Interaction design में?
Interaction design code courses, we had user studies, we had usability evaluation, we had interface design, and yeah, I guess these were the core courses. And we had like communication design के भी courses like typography, color, and layout. We had photography. Yeah, pretty much these. Yeah.
10 बहुत ज्यादा होता है. मतलब we had, हम लोग का IIT दिल्ली में तो first semester is very product focused. So we had like product, मतलब CAD वाला एक subject था which they shifted in the second semester and they got some other subject applied ergonomics in this semester. We had ergonomics, form and aesthetics. Then we had framework of design and innovation, and एक और था communication and presentation skills. मतलब वो communication in terms of ऐसा sketching and software based. बस 5 subject था. लेकिन भाई इतना assignments. The first week we had 800 pages of drawing. The first week. पहले ही week में. बहुत sketching है. It's very sketching based है थोड़ा. ज़्यादा sketching करवाते थोड़ा.
So in IIT Delhi, you get like all these modules simultaneously they go on, or you have like week wise?
नहीं, it's not week wise. गुवाहाटी में भी week wise होता है. यहाँ पे भी week wise नहीं होता. यहाँ पे we have a timetable like आज 3 lectures होंगे अलग अलग, फिर 2-3 करके. तो Monday, Tuesday we had full day lectures. Monday, Wednesday full day lectures. Tuesday, Thursday only mornings, and then Friday only evenings. But it was on for 2 hours, 2 or 2.5 hours.
Yeah, we have like week wise modules. So we have to wrap up our assignment within 1 week or 2 week time period.
अच्छा, okay. अच्छा, one more thing जो join कर रहे हैं. Yesterday I goofed up. मैंने ना communication design लिख दिया, जबकि Apoorv was interaction design. Because somebody in the group ना, somebody sent a screenshot of us in the group कि he had a blog and he put that ये भैया communication design से है, और उन्होंने मेरे से reply किया. मैं बोला अच्छा लास्ट मैं पूछ लेता हूँ अगर वो podcast के लिए फ्री है तो मैंने बिना सोचे communication डाल दिया. And I told these people like communication animation wala finally. So day after tomorrow there's one friend of mine from NIT. She's in graphic design. These people now, अभी तक जितने podcast हुए, I'm also from product interaction based. इसके पहले Anshuman was there, he's from product. Then Susaman again product. Anjali interaction, interaction. So communication animation वाले थोड़ा वो हो गए. Okay. We also need some help. हम लोग का भी questions पूछना था. You gave only interaction in IDC?
No, I gave communication also and got offer also. So I chose.
So you got for both?
Interaction. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I can help communication.
Then it's communication. That is good. Oh, wait a second, Apoorv, you are the person ना जिसने EWS का फॉर्म भरा था in IDC?
I applied with EWS quote, yes.
Now I recollect. Now I remember. Actually, what happened? ना, this is inside news. I'll tell you. Before we start, हमने ना when we applied for CEED ना, तब we gave EWS का certificate. हम लोग का सब group था. मतलब after results we came to know कि rank किसका है. I was all in rank 9 in EWS, है ना? So you had not given EWS in CEED. You had not applied. You had applied in open category. You applied in IIT with an EWS category. So first ऑल इंडिया रैंक 1 से लेके ऑल इंडिया रैंक 20 तक जितने भी ईडब्ल्यूएस वाले थे ना उनका शॉर्टलिस्ट ही नहीं हुआ किधर भी. सो वी ऑल वर लाइक है ईडब्ल्यूएस की सीट्स है भाई मतलब शॉर्टलिस्ट करना पड़ेगा. देन समवन टोल्ड मी दैट एक अपूर्वा करके है ही इज ऑल इंडिया रैंक टॉप 10 में है एंड ही इज अप्लाइड इन ईडब्ल्यूएस आफ्टर सीट. अब लाइक ऐसा भी होता है. ये कौन सा लूप होल है मतलब यू कैन अप्लाई ओपन हियर ईडब्ल्यूएस देयर. देन ओबीसी में भी सेम थोल. ओबीसी में भी लोगों ने ओपन में अप्लाई किया सीट में और फिर आईआईटी में पर्सनली ओबीसी में अप्लाई किया. So then the rank on your scorecard becomes obsolete, na? That doesn't matter then. So rank का मतलब क्या हुआ? You're not getting admission on that rank, you're getting admission on open rank. क्योंकि technically you are also EWS, I'm also EWS, but I have the rank on my scorecard and you don't. है ना? So that झोल had happened. So I had mailed IDC. IDC को मेल किया था मैंने. They replied also. They said नहीं हमने सबको EWS वाले को सीट्स दिया. हम लोग कहाँ पे? 1 से लेके 20 तो मेरे साथ है. उनको किसी को सीट मिली नहीं है. 20 के बाहर वाले 1000 रैंक के ऊपर है. तो उनको क्यों दोगे सीट?
I guess at IDC they didn't. Hello.
हाँ नहीं आई मैं my video will flicker a bit. IIT का वाईफाई थोड़ा सा फ्लक्चुएट होता है.
Okay. I
वीडियो
guess
ऑन ऑफ होता है.
IDC they didn't mention like it was not very transparent. I think they didn't mention who got into that and in which category. So
this is the only thing I did not
otherwise IIT Delhi
like
and
for
also other IITs had very transparent thing on their website. Like they had these tables of student names who got into their seats.
हाँ Delhi is एकदम ट्रांसपेरेंट. वेबसाइट पे डाल देते पूरा ओपन पूरा लिस्ट.
Yes.
वेटिंग लिस्ट 1, वेटिंग लिस्ट 2, वेटिंग लिस्ट 3. That is a very good system. मेरे को पसंद आया था. Very good system. Okay, चलो let's start. I think there are around 70 people I can see. चलो let's start. So first of all, अभी recording is on. मेरी वीडियो क्लियर नहीं है. आए चलेगा यार वो मेरा वाईफाई अभी कुछ नहीं कर सकता. आईआईटी ने बिल भरा है मैंने नहीं भरा है. वो जितना होता है ठीक है. ठीक है. ओके थैंक यू अभित. Okay, so thank you, Apoorv. Thank you for joining. Thank you for doing this. Thank you for taking your time out. And I'm going to start with a very, very basic question. I want you to tell everybody your background and why did you choose to give seat? Why did you give NID? Okay, first question. Did you give NID?
Yes, I gave NID.
Which stream?
I applied for graphics and interaction design.
Interaction. And you got into any?
I got EWS rank 1 in both, but I didn't make it into interview. Like they didn't select me
for mains.
Yeah, after interview, final offer.
अच्छा, but cleared the paper. Paper दोनों clear हुआ.
Yeah.
अच्छा. So then, okay. First question: why did you give CEED and NID, and what is your background? Everybody has to know.
Okay. So I have a background of civil engineering. I did my graduation from IIT Lucknow. It is a government college. In that college, I was preparing for GATE because I was very confused, like what to do. I was not excelling at engineering in general. So I was like, what to do? I was just joined a GATE coaching, like everybody was doing around me. But yeah, it was not happening for me. So again, then the lockdown happened and I got like introspected things like what are my strengths. Also in my fine arts club, like there was a senior, Miss Kashish Panjwani, who was like preparing for the design as a career option. So she told me about it, and yeah, from that I got to know, okay, there is this field. I did some NPTEL lecture after that. So I did innovation in design and understanding in design course, NPTEL course by BK Chakraborty and Nina Sabnani now IDC. So from that I got to know, yeah, there is this field and it seemed quite interesting to me. So that triggered my approach, and then I started preparing and fortunately got into with a good rank.
So it was your first round?
Yes.
Acha. And how much time did you prepare for?
Initially I was juggling between both the preparation, GATE and CEED, but like in later months, like in September or mid-September, end of September, I solely started preparing for CEED. Yeah.
अच्छा ओके, तो अक्टूबर नवंबर
ये
दिसंबर
जाए अभी,
फिर।
अभी रुक जाए गेट, उसका पेपर 3 महीने बाद है,
हाँ
उसके करते
हाँ,
पहले सीड निकालते हैं। या
फिर गेट का क्या हुआ?
आई गॉट डिसेंट मार्क्स। मीन्स जिन्होंने
हाँ
पढ़ाई की थी उनके कंपैरिजन इट वाज लाइक इक्वल,
अच्छा इक्वल,
नॉट गुड बट इट
राइट।
वाज इक्वल।
अरे बहुत बढ़िया, अच्छा ओके। एंड यू अप्लाइड टू ऑल द आईआईटीज, मतलब दिल्ली
या
टू गुवाहाटी एवरीवेयर?
या
अब ऑल इंडिया रैंक 4 तो फिर तो आईडीसी से मतलब होना ही है, 99% तो यू आर ऑलमोस्ट देयर, इट्स जस्ट दैट द इंटरव्यू इंटरव्यू अगर निकाल लिया तो बस।
यस।
सो व्हाट वाज योर पार्ट ए स्कोर एंड पार्ट बी स्कोर?
Okay, I usually forget my score, so I have noted it down right now. So
थैंक यू।
I got 56.1 in part A and 66.5 in part B. And
66.5?
there are people who got way more than me, like who are in the top three in part B. Yes, I
78.5 in
I
one B.
got fourth rank because of my part A. I was like, I guess I had a strong
हाँ
score.
हाँ हाँ हाँ, because all India 1, 2, both of them have less than 45 in part A. Rank
Yeah,
1 and 2 both. Anshuman has 38 and uska I forgot her name, which is also the 41 or something. So
Sagarika.
then Sagarika is all India 2, no?
Yeah, yeah,
हाँ हाँ, her part B mark, part A was 41 point something, I think. I forgot. उसका भी कमी था. So yeah, part A was a differential factor, right?
yeah. And yeah,
That's it.
overall it was 63.9.
63.9 भाई साहब, मैं 40 था भैया, 40 41, पार्ट ए 40, पार्ट बी 41, बस अपना हो गया। 40.25 was my final score. भाई भाई, okay. अच्छा, one more thing I want to ask you, what was the
Also, you
most
got into
difficult? हाँ
IIT Delhi, no?
हाँ
After,
हाँ, I मेरा इंटरव्यू के बेसिस पे हुआ। So when the list came out ना, I was in the top 50 60 का लिस्ट था, मैं नीचे था एकदम नीचे। And after the interview, I came in the top 3 after the interview. Interview
I
के
didn't
बेसिस पे
got
ही हुआ
into
नीचे।
IIT Delhi,
हाँ
means
हाँ,
no. I got
ओ
in all the IITs except IIT Delhi. So I guess
अच्छा।
they focus on interviews.
हाँ, they focused on the interview. I everybody who is here now, I spoke to them also. सबका ऐसा ही reaction था, all the batchmates, that our marks are like okay, okay. It was just the portfolio and the interview that they were impressed with. IIT Delhi का है, it's a pattern. Since the last 3 4 years, they have been focusing on the interview and portfolio. They don't look at the marks. And Guwahati is opposite. Guwahati, भाई, this time they didn't even give any task, nothing. सीधा marks पे. And I was the next seat. वो सब हुआ ना EWS में, I was the next seat. मतलब after everything got over. अभी next seat is mine. अगर हो जाता तो I would have taken Guwahati over Delhi if I would have gone Guwahati. I would have taken Guwahati. Acha, okay. So now what everybody wants to know specifically here is that we'll go step by step. First of all, what was more difficult for you, part A or part B? For CEED?
Okay. Actually, I don't know because I was liking the type of question they were asking, and it was more kind of fun for me to do these creative things. So I don't know. Yeah, maybe in starting part B was like kind of intimidating for me because of the type of question. But later, like by practicing, it was like I was quite familiar with the questions, and I was
Okay.
happy like they followed the last year paper pattern. Like they had similar type of questions. So yeah,
Hmm.
I was happy with
So how
that.
did you start preparing? What was your like strategy? How did you start? शुरू कहाँ से किया preparation? कि कैसे करना है? Plan कैसे किया?
Okay, so yeah, I talked to my mentor, Miss Kashish Panjwani ma'am. She got introduced me to a person, Josh Koikara, who runs a WhatsApp group for seed
Okay.
aspirants, seed and IT aspirants. So
Okay.
from
Okay.
that, it was starting. I got some resources from where I can start my studies.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, Also, she suggested that you should look up to previous year question papers. So
Hmm.
I took that as a reference and like did question by question all the things.
Hmm.
And yeah, and yeah, um, like अगर किसी क्वेश्चन में फंसता था मैं तो I used to note it down and later come to it and used to cover all the topics related to that particular question. For example, if some question was related to Mauryan period history, so I used to cover entire. Okay, they may ask other question related to history, so I covered that also. So yeah, bit by bit, it had a like big chunk of notes that I revised.
Hmm.
So yeah, from that I guess part A was, yeah, I got.
Okay, and part B, because see, if you, to be really honest, if someone gets like over 50, 55 in part B, matlab their sketching is like very good. Because it takes a lot of effort, a lot of practice to, score. मतलब clear करना अलग बात हो गया, clear करने के लिए practice लगता है, लेकिन score करने के लिए you need something different. So part B में, how did you, like, what was your practice का, I don't know, tips and takes का strategy? To practice part B का ना, the biggest question is resources. Like, what do you practice? Where do you practice from? How do you practice? For how long do you practice every day? So for you, how was it?
Yeah, again I started like getting my hands dirty with the previous year question paper. I immediately started with the previous year questions. Yeah, and got to know about my weak points. Like I was not very good at shading. I was not good at human figure sketching. I
Hmm.
realized that, and I started like watching YouTube videos or some Pinterest pictures where you have like these outlines. You have like stick figures and you make it
Hmm.
progressive like step by step. So yeah, from that level I started, and yeah, I guess that was enough.
उतना प्रैक्टिस में कैसे मार्क्स आता है आपको भैया? मतलब आई वाज एक्सपेक्टिंग अ वेरी लॉन्ग ऐसा चौड़ा आंसर कि भाई बहुत कुछ प्लानिंग स्ट्रेटजी था,
Actually, it is
बस
like
हो
a
गया.
1 year ago. I am like I've forgotten many things. So yeah. Oh, also, yeah, I used to like post my sketches on Instagram also. So it had like a push on me. Like I have to post, I have to draw daily, I have to post it.
हाँ,
So I
हाँ, करेक्ट.
used, I did this like deliberately to push myself, like to draw daily, to sketch daily. Yeah. Also, I used to like you have to free your hand before sketching. So you should draw straight lines, you should draw circles before sketching for warm up practice. So I did that also a lot.
अच्छा, okay, हाँ, well, line drawing, circle drawing, or that
Mhm.
basic shapes and all of that.
Yeah. And it was
अच्छा,
like a very refreshing perspective also. Like we usually draw from our wrist, like we place our wrist on paper and then draw. Like, but when I watched the YouTube videos, they said that you should not draw with your wrist, but you should draw with your shoulder at as a
shoulder.
pivot. So that was that was also, I was liking the process also. So yeah.
Okay, that's good. And okay, one more. What was something that you found most difficult? Part A, part B, while preparation. Preparation in, I mean, what was like your biggest challenge? Something that you were really struggling with.
Okay. Part B, like if they had asked like following the pattern of past years, like they had like 5 discipline ke questions. So I
Hmm.
guess it would have been hard for me because they are very stream specific and I'm not very knowledgeable about that stream because I come from a different background. So if they would have asked those questions, that would have been difficult. And also, as I said, I struggled with human figure sketches. I
Hmm.
I could not make human body proportions. I couldn't draw
Hmm.
animals. So, yeah, these were the things that I was
How
struggling.
did you improve on human figures and all? तो जो अभी दिक्कत हुई थी उसे solve कैसे किया? How did you solve the problem?
Yeah, again, like watching YouTube videos and like drawing step by step, like starting from stick figure and going step by step, as I told. Yeah, that improved.
अरे यार बहुत सिंपल लगा यार, अपूर्व इतना सिंपल नहीं है, मतलब मेरे को तो नहीं लगा था इतना सिंपल. जब मैं कर रहा था ना भाई, इट वाज सो डिफिकल्ट, मतलब मैं तो मर गया था आधे रास्ते पे. और लाइक खत्म, अभी अभी नहीं हो पाएगा कुछ, बिकॉज पार्ट बी में The questions are very, what do you say? They have specific criteria that they follow. Form sensitivity hai, या visual sensitivity hai. So you have to know that how do you make your own design language to make your icons and all of that. So all that required a lot of specific practice. मतलब कुछ icons बनाना practice किया खुद से बैठ के or something like that. So YouTube वीडियो से देख के चल, that's one way of how you practice. Where did you find resources, study material? Did you take classes? I don't think so. You
No.
didn't take classes. So where did you find resources to practice? मतलब study material कहाँ से मिला? Part A, Part B दोनों.
Uh, I didn't have any study material, honestly. Like I didn't have. I started preparing for with the previous year questions and like जो गलत होता था फिर वही topic लेके मैं. Internet is a whole resource, यार. You go with your query and it will provide you with enough resource. So yeah, I had no specific seed resource, but I had Google. So
Googling is a skill. I always tell people, Googling is a skill. Google YouTube पे finding resources is a skill.
also, one more thing that helped me in these things was getting reviews from peers who were also preparing for seed. They were the aspirants. We used to do daily एक दूसरे का review. So that also helped कि अच्छा तुम यहाँ पे focus कर सकते हो, यहाँ पे कर सकते हो. So I was a group of Tarun. अगर वो है यहाँ पे Tarun इस meet में होगा I guess. Tarun, Arpit and one more guy. I don't remember his name. Sorry. हाँ तो we used to review each
Practice
other.
together, study together. अच्छा. Okay, that's cool. ठीक है. And other than that, मतलब मेरे questions काफी खत्म हो क्योंकि मैं ऐसा extensive answers expect किया था, but everything is very simple. पूरा इसलिए कैसा गया ऐसे ही पेपर दे दिया, हो क्या गया, तो अब क्या कर सकता हूँ मैं, अभी हो क्या तो हो गया.
I didn't expected fourth rank. Honestly, yeah, I didn't expect. सच्ची नहीं expect किया था मैंने.
हाँ, मैं फर्स्ट अटेम्प्ट में बहुत कम लोग को आता है टॉप 5 में, टू बी रियली ऑनेस्ट. फर्स्ट अटेम्प्ट में नहीं आता, लेकिन इवन एवरीबॉडी, अंशुमन also gave a second attempt. Even Shobit, last year's All India rank 1, his first attempt was All India rank 34. He didn't get anywhere, then he gave again. So All India rank top 5 second third attempt सही होता है यार. फर्स्ट अटेम्प्ट में बहुत कम लोग को होता है. So that's a
And
very
it
big
came
deal.
as a shock also because I was not excelling at gate. I was very mediocre, and I got this. So I was like, okay, I'm on the right track. Maybe God wants me to follow this track. So I was happy.
So okay, ये preparation का तो seed का I'll leave it to the others to ask. I'll ask you one more couple of questions, then we'll move to other people asking questions. One is that what was your portfolio का? See, I want to know because communication interaction थोड़ा सा interesting mix है. People usually take communication with animation everywhere. And everywhere I've heard graphic animation and ID and communication animation and IDC. So how did you make your portfolio? This I want to know personally. Interaction और communication का portfolio बनाया कैसे? दोनों का.
Okay, so again, I got to my mentors. So she suggested that you should uh, like put at least one project from each discipline which you have applied to. So I applied into communication and interaction. So I wanted at least one project from each of them. So also, yeah, I made like in the lockdown, I got plenty of time. So before seed only, I guess in the initial months of lockdown, like in July, August, I made some branding project for a startup. So that I added in my project or portfolio. I participated in a logo mascot making competition for Uttar Pradesh Transport Department. Although they didn't declare the result yet, but I added that as a portfolio project.
अच्छा, okay.
मैंने कहा कहीं तो कुछ काम आए, वो रिजल्ट दे नहीं रहे, कम से कम ऐड ही कर देते.
हाँ,
Then yeah, these two were the things, and I also made a section in my portfolio where I added all the creative works that I have done in my college, in my school. So I had a habit of like posting whatever I create on social media. Like I don't plan anything. Like whatever I feel like doing, I post it on my social media.
Hmm,
So
hmm, hmm, hmm,
that actually worked because I was documenting from like very early on. So I had all the
hmm,
pictures, I
hmm,
had
hmm.
all the things at my digital devices. So I had them as a section in my portfolio. So yeah, that was the communication part. I had no clue what to add for interaction project.
अच्छा.
So yeah, so I did a Coursera course by Google. Google provides a
Good.
Coursera course on interaction design, UX design. Yeah, so I did that course, and that course they make you go through a project, how you can make a project. So I did that only. Yeah, nothing very big.
That's it.
That's it.
Oh, bhai, kya baat. And why did you choose interaction over communication? Because you got both, like in personal preference?
Yeah, I was initially like preferred towards interaction first, but when I got the task, I was more into communication because communication task seemed easy to me.
Interesting. हाँ, I like the communication का task. Interaction का
हाँ,
task बहुत lengthy था. वो गणेश वाला जो ऐसे लिखना था, ओ भाई साहब, वो
मैंने
क्या
कहा
ही
ये
था
अगर
वैसे.
करना होगा मुझे 4 सेमेस्टर में नहीं कर पाऊंगा मैं कम्युनिकेशन.
ओ
बट
भाई, वो
लेटर व्हेन
जब
आई
मैंने पढ़ा इंटरेक्शन का टास्क आईडीसी का, हम लाइक इससे इंटरेक्शन कैसे, मतलब क्यों, ये हाउ इज दैट रिलेटेड टू इंटरेक्शन, मेरे को समझा नहीं. इट इज सो ऐसा आउट ऑफ द बॉक्स
या
स्टोरी भी.
then yeah, when I got into both the streams, yeah, so I had the option to choose one of them. Although I gave priority to communication earlier while the task I was doing, but I had the chance again that to choose between these two. So I was like, okay, maybe I should think once more. So I talked to some of the seniors from IDC who were studying interaction and communication both. So I talked to them and they suggested me to go through the projects that they make as a P2, P3 project. So I went through on the website and saw it, and I was like, okay, interaction one, I am more um, liking towards that. So yeah. So then I preferred, like, I chose interaction.
Okay. Okay, perfect.
Yeah,
Last
I
question
would
from बोलो बोलो.
this I would suggest everyone, like, if you're confused with the branch which discipline you should select, you should refer to the early on project that the students over that particular college have done. It will give you a fairly nice idea. Yeah.
आई अगर सेम सीनियर से बात करो और फील अगर थोड़ा भी कंफ्यूजन है तो प्रोजेक्ट्स देखो, क्योंकि प्रोजेक्ट से पता चलेगा कि काम एक्चुअल लाइफ में करना क्या है.
Hmm.
तो हाँ, दैट आई एग्री. आल्सो इंटरेक्शन में पैसा बहुत है आईडीसी में. सो इस बार कितना बहुत बहुत हाई पैकेजेस गए इस बार. आई हैव ऑल द न्यूज़ फ्रॉम आईडीसी. सीनियर्स को क्या पैकेजेस लगे हैं भाई साहब, हम लोग क्या चल रहा है आईटी में, इन
कितना
आईटी
सुना
को.
आपने?
आई मैंने सुना, आई हैव सीनियर्स में हैव अ फ्यू रिसोर्सेज, थोड़े अपने खबर ही है, तो दे टोल्ड मी
मैंने नहीं
दैट
सुना. I am the I heard like lowest was 14. On day one.
on day one the highest was I think 55
Oh, ये मैंने नहीं
is
सुना.
is what I heard. So the thing is that I am a placement coordinator here in IIT Delhi. So I have to keep track of all of this. मतलब I'm the internship and placement coordinator. तो मेरा ऐसा है कि I have to make sure कि companies आए और internships मिले 2 महीने की 6 महीने की placement. So I have a little track. So CTC is what I heard 50 something, but I'm not sure कि उसका actual offer abroad based है, I mean US based है, यहाँ पे based है. See IIT Delhi में भी BTech में there's a guy, I forgot his name, Saksham, I think, Saksham. He got into UX design 52 lakhs CPC from BTech. MDS को नहीं मिला, BTech को मिला, हम लोग को नहीं मिला. तो that is that. Design में है, interaction में बहुत है. So good. That is a good choice. अच्छा, last question from my side, that it is 22nd of December, 23rd January को CEED का पेपर है next year का. So it's 1 month for these guys. How would you suggest these guys to? What would you suggest these guys to do this month? How would you want them to practice and do? What would you want them to do? एक महीने में क्या कर सकते हैं? Also, in 1 week NID का exam है, 2nd Jan. So both perspectives, NID and CEED both.
Okay. Yeah. So I'd suggest look at your weaker topics. Like you have given attempted previous year questions, 31 days, 17 hours. Okay. To be precise. You
Okay.
you have given previous year questions. So look upon कहाँ पे अटके तुम, and you should give more time to that topic. And also, I'd suggest to give some mocks because I gave some mocks from sub coachings, and it personally helped me to get used to the time, actual time limit. Yeah. And also, it gave you like some more kinds of questions and more kind of topics to prepare. So it helped me. Yeah. So I'd suggest two mocks also. Also, you should continue your sketching. Like, if you stop sketching, your hands will like not very used to sketch on that particular day of the exam. So you should continue your sketching practice daily. Yeah, I guess that is enough.
Okay, exact 2:30. I thought of 20-25 minutes max. I'll finish my head. So, okay, guys, Apurva is all yours. जो पूछना है पूछो. Especially guys who have been continuously asking me communication के doubts है, please make sure you ask Apurva all your communication related doubts for graphic design NID, interaction NID, interaction IDC and communication IDC. जो भी doubts है preparation के लिए, please put your name in the chat box. I will take your name and speak to Apurva directly. बताओ सबसे पहले अभित पूछेगा अभित आफ्टर दैट पीपल कैन कंटिन्यू क्या कम्युनिकेशन क्या है जो भी डाउट सब पूछ लिया आई आई अच्छा एनिमेशन आया दो तीन दिन हाँ एनआईडी एनिमेशन ओके अगू आ जा भाई
हाय अपूर्व।
Hello.
मेरा डाउट था कि मतलब जैसे आप सिविल से थे, सो हाउ डिड यू बैक योर सेल्फ अप कि मैं इंटरेक्शन में जा रहा हूँ, तो मतलब आपने ऐसा कुछ इशू आपको फेस करना पड़ा था उसमें इंटरव्यू वगैरह में?
Uh, I guess no. At least at IDC, they were like pretty cool. They ask questions from your portfolio and your task, and they don't generally question upon like why switching from civil engineering to interaction. Actually, they like people from multivaried disciplines. So in actual batches also, we have people from different background, mechanical engineer, architects, uh, some from computer science department. Yeah, we have multidiscipline batch, so they prefer having people from varied background.
ओके, थैंक यू।
ओके who's next इसको पूछना आदित्य आ जाओ
Hello, Apoorv.
Hello.
So you gave interaction in NID.
Yes.
So can you elaborate? I mean, how was it, and how did you approach each question?
Okay. Okay. I have to see the questions first. Like I have noted down the question that came. 1 minute, please.
अच्छा you noted the questions also जो आए थे
They don't provide you question papers, no. So I
Yeah, that
हाँ
would be help.
ओ
noted
भाई
down.
क्या बात है दिस इज गोल्ड वेरी नाइस
I don't know where it is. So
हाँ एनआईडी सबसे बड़ा दिक्कत है एनआईडी क्वेश्चंस देता नहीं है यार मतलब क्या इतना तो क्या सीक्रेट्स है
I remember I sent to someone like DM'd yesterday to someone on Instagram. I don't know whom. Okay. Maybe I'll send to Danish. He may
send
forward
it
it.
to me I will put it on the group but do you
So
remember any of the
yeah, I mean, any
Okay.
question that you approached,
Okay.
so that would be help.
So they had some questions on headphone, like you have to make the buttons of your headphone, like pause, play, back buttons. So that was one question. So how did I approach? Okay. So I thought of having a headphone, so I thought of how will I wear it? What hand will I use? And like, what are the general natural way people tend to use to switch to the next
Hmm.
song or to pause and play it? So I thought
I
of that
remember.
and yeah, made those buttons and I sketched those also, like labeled those properly. Yeah, that was one question. And the next question was like we had to design a table lamp for millennials, for for our generation. So it was very simple. You design a table lamp for millennials. So yeah. So I thought of like what I generally prefer on my study table and what all things could be incorporated on my study lamp. So I thought of that. I guess
So,
that helped.
in both the approaches, what I think is you decided what are the problems and you came up with a solution
Yeah,
directly. So this is and this is. But
I guess
uh,
not. Okay. So I thought of like how will I go through that product? For example, even in the headphone and
Hmm.
in the case of table lamp also, how will I prefer them to be? Like I imagined in my present situation कि मैं कैसे उसको interact करूँगा. So I use that approach. So yeah,
yeah.
that
So I mean, the process more or the less will be the same for everyone. I mean, everyone will also think in the way that these are the problems and these will be the solutions. But to come up with that creative solution, uh, did you did you think in a way that I should be creative at that point, or this solution is way too much common, and I should maybe come up with something else?
okay. Um, I guess not. Uh, like we had very limited time, so you
Yeah,
don't.
exactly. So when we have limited time and you have to come up with something, and you think this is the most common answer, so how should you tackle in that point time?
Mm, okay, so I guess I did not do that. I gave my whatever came to my mind. I just, yeah, I can suggest one thing. Like you should write down whatever keywords you came up to. Like for example, it should be sturdy, it should be durable, it should be, for example, it should be stable on a place. For example, in the case of table lamp. So I noted down the key factors for that particular product, and yeah, finally connecting all those factor into my product. So that helped me. I guess you can do that, and
Okay.
it will save time from like ideating from particular solution then coming to next solution. I guess that will prevent you from fiddling around.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Apoorv.
Thank you, Aditya. Ashi, what are you sharing? Ashi, क्या share कर रही थी?
अपूर्व ने मुझे इंस्टाग्राम पे लिंक शेयर करी थी, तो उसमें
क्या
शायद
चीज
उनके
की?
इंटरव्यू के क्वेश्चंस भेजे थे, मतलब ब्लॉग लिंक शेयर करी थी आपने मुझे इंस्टा पे.
इंटरव्यू के क्वेश्चंस?
हाँ, इंटरव्यू के क्वेश्चंस हैं और शायद आपका ब्लॉग होगा, उसमें कुछ
टीका
सही.
ब्लॉग है वो.
अच्छा, ओके,
हाँ, टीका ब्लॉग वही.
ठीक
I
है
had
ब्रो.
mentioned some interview questions on my blog also. Yeah, I guess.
ओके, नेक्स्ट संगम. हाँ जी संगम, आ जाओ.
Hello, Apoorv.
Hello.
My question is, what one should do to fetch more marks in sketching part? Ideation अलग है, बस sketching में मतलब shading करके realistic कर रहे हैं. अगर time बचा तो, I mean, what one should do?
Okay, you means कितना शेडिंग करना चाहिए ये क्वेश्चन?
हाँ, kind of.
Okay.
क्या dirty नहीं करना या clean ज़्यादा रखना sketching part को मतलब.
I guess you should, yeah, first focus on cleanliness. Like it is the first impression that examiner gets from seeing your answer sheet. So you should focus mostly on cleanliness, and you should read the evaluation criteria, like in CEED, I guess, not in an ID question paper. In CEED 1, they give you evaluation criteria, like on what basis they will judge your solutions. So if there is shading mentioned, then you should do it, otherwise not. And you should focus only on the things that have been asked. So don't do unnecessary shadows, don't do unnecessary backgrounds and stuff. So yeah, you should focus on what is required.
और सीड में है ना, जो पहला कैरेक्टर डिजाइन वाला क्वेश्चन है, वहाँ पे लास्ट में लिखा है इवेल्यूशन क्राइटेरिया में लाइन एंड फिनिश ऑफ ड्राइंग. तो फिनिश इन द सेंस शेडिंग वगैरह करके इसको बिल्कुल अपन जैसा नॉर्मल करते हैं, या बस लाइन ड्राइंग थी? मुझे वो थोड़ा कंफ्यूज लगा. फिनिश इन द सेंस क्या है?
Finish means cleanliness, I guess. Yeah. Finish means cleanliness, like how well you have drawn your lines. Like if you have like multiple strokes में इसको draw किया है, that is not a very finished solution. It's finished sketch. You should draw like a well confident stroke.
आदित्य घर से बैंकिंग की कोई ठोक आया तेरे को, उसकी आवाज आ रही है, प्लीज म्यूट कर दो. थैंक यू. हाँ संगम, कंटिन्यू.
हाँ बस उतना ही था. थैंक यू, समझ गया.
ओके कूल, थैंक यू. मेहल.
Hi Apoorv. I don't know if you remember me. हमने कुछ 2-3 दिन पहले ही बात की. So
I thought you were a boy. I don't know. Male seems to a boy.
Yeah, a lot of people think that from my name. So I sent you the sketches and you liked my lines and you told me that maybe you can work on the timing. So I wanted to ask you, like, while you were preparing, how did you tackle the time thing? Like, did you work with a timer or something like that? Because Dhanish has always told us कि जितना तुम घर पे करते हो उससे 50-60% कम ही होता है तुम्हारा लाइन क्वालिटी एग्जाम में. तो आपने ये कैसे किया? और दूसरा कि जिन क्वेश्चंस में, जैसे आप बता रहे थे अभी संगम को, तो जिन क्वेश्चंस में ये नहीं लिखा है कि लाइन क्वालिटी इज योर इवैल्यूएशन क्राइटेरिया, फॉर एग्जांपल प्रॉब्लम आइडेंटिफिकेशन क्वेश्चन या वो आइकन्स वाला क्वेश्चन, तो उसमें अगर थोड़ा सा लाइन क्वालिटी के ऊपर यू जस्ट गो फास्ट ऑन द लाइन्स एंड मोर ऑन द आइडिएशन, इज दैट अप्रोच अ गुड अप्रोच?
Okay, so again I will tell you that focus more on cleanliness. Like whether it's written or not, you should focus on cleanliness and like not very erased lines and rough patches over your solution sheet. So don't go for it. And yeah, what was your first question? Sorry.
आपने कैसे टाइम का वो किया था? लाइक आप टाइमर के साथ स्केच करते थे क्या while you were preparing?
Okay, so yeah, I gave the previous year question. I gave with like time limit, proper time limit, 3 hours ka. That I gave. So and in the mocks also there were time limits. So I was like, okay, I have to do this much of my part in this particular time. So yeah, I have splitted my entire part B questions into sections, like इतने मिनट में इतना करना है. So that will help you. I guess you should also do.
Yeah. Okay. So what I do is I do with mocks and all, but like whenever, if you are even solving a question which is not a mock or not a test, like if you're solving a PYQ or something, so I give myself 20 minutes that I should finish this sheet by 20 minutes. Then I leave it like जितना हुआ उतना उसी point पे, and I move on to the next. So but कभी-कभी ऐसा हो जाता है कि 2 मिनट और ये खत्म हो जाएगा, तो मैं करती रहूं कि should I just leave it at that point?
No. You should attempt all the questions, and like you won't be happy with your questions even if you spend 1 hour on it. You won't be happy. I assure you. You will not be ever happy with your solution.
Yeah.
So ideally you should go with your stick to your timeline. Like you have devoted this particular time for this question, so you should stick to that time only and don't surpass it. I'd suggest, yeah.
Yeah, and there is one last thing, and this is not a doubt, but sort of a dikkat. Like you mentioned that you take question from part A and take it as a whole topic. I do the same thing. Like I take topics, and I've been doing this, but the issue is I don't know where to stop. Like I go on reading and reading because एक तो first of all मुझे पढ़ना बहुत पसंद है, तो मैं बहुत टाइम ज़ाया कर देती हूँ in things which are not even needed. For example, yesterday I was revising this volume and area के formulas, and I went from there. I went to platonic solids. उनके area और volume के formulas याद किए मैंने. वहां से I went to Archimedean solids. उसकी मतलब रात के 2:30 बजे I am remembering rhombi icosa dodecahedron की sphericity. क्यों कर रही हूँ? I don't know how to
Like,
stop.
क्यों कर रही हो इतना?
मैं भी पूछो क्यों बहन, मैं भी कॉल कर देती बहन, मेरा नंबर है ना, मैसेज कर देती कि ये 2 आइसोटका में पहुंच गई, वही रोक देता मैं. कहाँ पहुंच गई?
I guess basic
मतलब
mathematics formula like circle, square, you should know. I don't think they ask you further beyond that. So
I
you should.
know they don't, but मेरा इश्यू कि जब मैं पढ़ती हूँ ना तब लगाम नहीं रहती मेरी खुद के ऊपर. I'm like कभी पूछ लिया तो पढ़ लेती हूँ क्या ही हो जाएगा.
Okay. देखो मतलब पढ़ा हुआ वेस्ट तो नहीं होता, but since you have limited time, you should give yourself time limit. Okay, इतना मेरे को करना है इतने. Like what I used to do, I used to like एक mock दिया, then I noted down, okay, this question, this topic I am lacking, so I noted down, and like in that particular day or in the next day, I used to cover all those topics. Like इस टाइम लिमिट में, इस पूरे दिन में मुझे ये टॉपिक्स करने हैं, लाइक जैसे भी हो करने मेरे को. सो इफ यू डू दिस, सो यू वोंट बी लाइक मिसिंग आउट, like घुसिंग into very broad topic of some simple things like you are doing. So yeah, you can do that.
Yeah, I try that.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
One more thing, मतलब इसमें मैं भी इसके लिए ऐड करूंगा क्योंकि मैंने भी ये देखा है कि भाई any topic you study or anything you do, for example math specifically, people do too much, and this is not only just us, it's everywhere. All design coaching centers, BRDS, and also all the others, they focus too much on maths. Like they have 2-3 hours like classes only to teach you maths. तो मैंने एक वीडियो में भी बोला था, उन्हें यहाँ पे रिपीट करूंगा जस्ट बिकॉज़ ये टॉपिक आया है कि ये हार्ड वर्क वाली गेम नहीं है, स्मार्ट वर्क वाला गेम है. आने वाला आप आए थे तो माइक. हाँ, तो मैथ्स का मैंने एक बहुत मस्त स्ट्रेटजी बताया था कि टेक ऑल देयर पीवैल्यूज एंड मेक अ लिस्ट ऑफ ऑल द फॉर्मूलाज दे हैव आस्क्ड इन द हिस्ट्री ऑफ सीड. फॉर एग्जांपल वॉल्यूम ऑफ एरिया पूछा है, वॉल्यूम पूछा है ऑफ अ क्यूब, एरिया पूछा है ऑफ अ क्यूब. So now when you make that list, now you will see that क्या things that are equal. Volume बहुत बार पूछते हैं, volume और surface area बहुत repeatedly आता है. So then you make a list of priority. Volume and surface area of a cube, cuboid and circle आया है. So now मैं volume and surface area सब shapes का पढ़ लूंगी, सब shapes, क्योंकि volume area बहुत पूछता है. तो उसके आने के chances ज्यादा है. अभी simple interest एक बार आया है पूरे history में सीड के, एक बार 2015 एक बार. So people are studying simple interest, profit and loss, boat and streams, mensuration and compound evaluation. मतलब क्यों? So don't do all that. Try to make a list of your own. कि last 10 years में start writing down. ये paper में ये question आया था, उसमें ये formula use होता है. Make a list of all the formulas that are required to solve any seed paper. And then make your own list out of that. कि अब इससे related चीजें पढ़ूंगी मैं. Not anything हवा में ऐसा. तो बस का पब्लिक क्वेश्चन पढ़ा था कि एक बस में से दूसरे बस में कूदना है, इसका बस का स्पीड ये है, तो ये बस की स्पीड में कूदने ट्राई तो मेहनत करना है, नहीं करना है. अरिथमेटिक सॉलिड वो प्लेटोनिक वेटोनिक और दो डेका मैं अभी करा था लास्ट सेमेस्टर में, लगा असाइनमेंट दो डेका देखो आके करना सब यहाँ आके करना. आप अभी मत करो,
Okay.
ठीक है? Okay, cool. Rhythm.
Yeah.
Rhythm
Hello,
Sachdeva.
Apoorv. Yeah.
Hi.
Actually, for interaction design, I wanted to know how to tackle with those web designing or application designing questions. I'm from fashion designing background, so I'm not into technical area and all that. So I
Okay.
struggle in these questions. How to think actually.
कौन से पेपर में CED या NID?
NID में interaction के लिए.
Okay. So I did not prepared for NID that much. Like my main focus was for CEED, so I may not be the right person to answer this question.
Okay.
हाँ बट ओके रिदम, ये जो
Yes.
क्वेश्चन है ना, ये जो ऐप वाला है, मैं भी ऐसा मस्त प्रिपेयर करके गया था कि ऐसा स्क्रीन बनाऊंगा, ये बनाऊंगा, वो बनाऊंगा. जैसे इंटरेक्शन का पेपर दिया एनआईडी का 3 प्रोडक्ट, है 3
हाँ.
प्रोडक्ट के क्वेश्चन, 2 हेडफोन बनाना है, एक लैंप बनाना है. मैं बोला भाई हेलो, इंटरेक्शन के लिए अप्लाई किया था, प्रोडक्ट का डिजाइन नहीं देना, प्रोडक्ट क्यों कर रहा हूँ मैं. 3 प्रोडक्ट के क्वेश्चन आए थे. तो इट्स नॉट, आई थिंक दैट इज गॉन नाउ. मतलब सीड में भी ऐसा था स्टार्टिंग में, वो आशा वर्कर का क्वेश्चन जो बहुत फेमस है, वो तब वो लोग स्क्रीन्स पूछते थे. अब तो स्क्रीन्स सीड में भी एलिमिनेट हो गई है. लास्ट 2 साल में एनआईडी में भी एलिमिनेट हो गई. लास्ट 2 साल में तो नहीं आया स्क्रीन कुछ भी.
तो मेन इंटरेक्शन के लिए कहाँ पे फोकस करना चाहिए पार्ट बी के लिए?
थैंक यू खुशी. एनआईडी विल ऑलवेज गिव यू सरप्राइजेस. मैं एग्जैक्टली यही बोल रहा था कि तुम कुछ प्रिडिक्ट नहीं कर सकते. एनआईडी में वो लोग इंटरेक्शन में, वही तो बता रहा हूँ ना, इंटरेक्शन का टास्क जो था आईआईटी बॉम्बे का, वो टास्क में दे हैड गिवन अ बुक, और सॉरी बुक क्या, एक बुक में से एक एक्सर्प्ट दिया था, लाइक अ स्निपेट ऑफ अ, मतलब लाइक अ स्टोरी. उसके बेसिस पे यू हैव टू मेक अ विजुअल नरेटिव, आई डोंट नो, बुक टाइप पोस्टर. मतलब उसका इंटरेक्शनल लेन देन नहीं है कुछ. सो द सेम थिंग हैपेंड टू द पेपर. कुछ लेन देन नहीं है. अपूर्व एंड आई वी बोथ गिव द सेम इंटरेक्शन पेपर. उसका हुआ मेरा नहीं, मेरा हम दोनों का नहीं हुआ एक्चुअली. यू आल्सो डिडंट गेट इनटू, आई आल्सो डिडंट गेट इनटू इंटरेक्शन. आई गॉट इनटू एसडीएम. सो दे आस्क्ड टू मेक हेडफोन्स. मतलब क्यों? एंड बेस्ट पार्ट इज एसडीएम में भी एक क्वेश्चन था हेडफोन्स के लिए. तो आई इन दैट 6 hour ड्यूरेशन आई सॉल्व 3 हेडफोन क्वेश्चन. दैट टू मेक 3 डिफरेंट हेडफोन. क्या लाइफ है मेरा भाई. एनआईडी दे रहे हो, 3 अलग हेडफोन बना रहे हो, क्यों? मतलब लेन देन नहीं है. So they can ask you anything, posters, I don't know, infographic icon, कुछ भी हो सकता है. No idea.
या मेन मतलब जैसे प्रोडक्ट्स वगैरह पे फोकस कर रहे हैं वही कंटिन्यू करते रहे.
हाँ बट बी प्रिपेयर्ड. मतलब आई एम नॉट सेइंग कि ऐसे थोड़ा एम्युनिशन रख के जाओ, 1-2 बार देख लो कि अच्छा. Okay, the best way to, let me think of it spontaneously, the best way to practice screens or to practice questions like that would be to go to Behance and look at UI UX portfolios जिसमें वो लोग ने low fidelity screens बनाई. Yeah, this would be a good way to learn. So when you go to Behance and you type UI UX projects, तेरे को 10-15 projects ढूंढने पड़ेंगे. उसमें से कोई ना कोई जिसमें they must have made low fidelity wireframes which will have sketches in it. तो वो sketches देखना तो समझ आ जाएगा.
ओके, थैंक यू.
Cool. Okay, thank you, Idam.
I have to ask something.
हाँ आशी, 1 मिनट, लाइन में सबका टर्न बाय टर्न. चैट बॉक्स में नाम डाल दो, टर्न बाय टर्न सबका. आप आया जीता, आजा.
हाँ, actually this question is to both of you कि सीड में it is very easy to strategize time कि 5 questions है, around 20-25 minutes सबको देना है. But NID के जैसे compilation में 2021 के graphic में जैसे I see 9 to 10 questions. तो 9 to 10 questions कैसे करना है, मतलब that is like very tricky क्योंकि काफी ज्यादा क्वेश्चंस है और वो हमेशा चेंज ही होता रहता है. मतलब इट्स वेरी अनप्रिडिक्टेबल. तो टाइम मैनेजमेंट एनआईडी के केस में कैसे टैकल करना है? एंड वो काफी टाइम कंज्यूमिंग क्वेश्चंस है. मतलब जो कंपाइलेशन है उसमें काफी ज्यादा ऐसा लग रहा है कि सारे क्वेश्चंस ही अच्छे खासे टाइम कंज्यूमिंग है.
Okay.
Apoorv.
Okay. So I guess you're talking about graphic design का, because last year it had very काफी लंबी लिस्ट थी क्वेश्चंस की.
Yes.
So yeah, I can feel that anxiety. So again, like if you get the question paper, so you should like count number of questions and divide your whole time into with that. So you will get like an idea like कितना particular question को dedicate करना है. And if you read all those questions, you will also get an idea, okay, this question will be easier for me. ये जल्दी हो जाएगा मेरे से, and ये वाला कुछ टाइम लेगा. so you should also think about that. Okay, अगर आप पहले छोटा वाला कर रहे हो तो think that you have bigger questions also at the back end, so you should not, if you save time there, you should invest your time there also. Yeah, if it
Correct,
makes sense.
correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
मेरे हिसाब
Even
से मेरा एक सिंपल रूल था. रूल वन वाज डोंट स्टार्ट अटेम्प्टिंग द पेपर फॉर द फर्स्ट 5 मिनट. मतलब पेन हाथ में है, पेपर आया, पेन छोड़ दो, पहले पेपर पढ़ो 5 मिनट, मतलब 5 नहीं, 4-3 मिनट जितना तुमको लगता है वैसा, बट रीड द पेपर फर्स्ट with your pencil down. So what I did was I put my pen down, I picked up my pencil and I was reading the paper. And मैंने ना क्या किया, when I was going through the paper, मैंने अंदाजे से, ये spontaneous, I had not pre-planned this. This happened, I don't know, on its own. कि SDM का पेपर जब था, SDM had a very long list of questions, और उसमें writing था. So I started seeing the questions and I started just writing down 10, 15, 20, 5, 10, 15 according to me. जैसे एक क्वेश्चन था जिसमें सिर्फ एक इतना सा पैराग्राफ का आंसर था, that's it. So I wrote down 5. So I'll take like 5 to 7 minutes max to write this, मतलब ऐसे on my own. Then the long 1000 word का आंसर था, I wrote 20. तो भाई 20 मिनट तो जाएगा ही 1000 वर्ड लिखने में मिनिमम. तो पहले पेपर अच्छे से पढ़ लो. So when Apoorv का एक पॉइंट सही है कि when you read the entire paper and the number of questions, it can be divided by the number of questions the entire time. But then a few questions in NID will be very subjective. कुछ बहुत lengthy होंगे, कुछ बहुत short होंगे. तो एक बार ना सब questions पढ़ लेना. And then
Okay.
again, this is subconsciously apology that has to happen in your own head. जब इस poster
हाँ,
आया,
correct.
you know poster is a weak point. मतलब मेरा weak point है drawing. तो आए poster को भाई 25 लिख दो. Bidding चालू होगी मेरी mind में. दे दो भाई 25 पॉइंट, 25 मिनट दे दिया पोस्टर को. मेरे को पता था मेरे को टाइम लगेगा. क्लिक किया. डेटा विजुअलाइजेशन मेरा बहुत फास्ट है, 10 मिनट्स मैक्स टू मैक्स. देन मैंने पहला 2-3 बार कैलकुलेट किया कि हाँ चलो हो गया, अपने इतना टाइम डेडिकेटेड होना चाहिए. सो आई गेव लाइक 3-4 minutes, not 5, but 3-4 minutes initially I gave to thoroughly reading the paper. एक बार पेपर अच्छे से पढ़ लो, क्योंकि ना 2.5 घंटा है, तो 2.5 घंटे में 5 मिनट तुम पेपर पढ़ोगे तो वही नहीं जाओगे. बट अगर तुमने पेपर पढ़ा, तुमने बेवफा जबरदस्ती कहीं भी अपना टाइम दे दिया ना, दैट विल हर्ट यू मोर. दैट्स व्हाट आई फील.
ओके. आई होप मतलब कंप्लीट हो जाता है ना पेपर. इट्स नॉट लाइक कि छूट गए क्वेश्चन या ऐसा कुछ.
मेरा तो छोटा था, लाइक
छोटा था,
ग्राफिक्स में छोटा था यार. इंटरेक्शन वाज लाइक अच्छा हुआ था क्योंकि उसमें कम क्वेश्चंस आए थे, वो तो हो गया था. ग्राफिक्स छोटा था मेरा.
ओके.
SDM, if you see my SDM paper ना, ऐसे हाथ में पकड़ के, so you will see the time movement exponentially decreasing because of my handwriting. So starting में आहा, cursive, sans serif, ऐसा मस्त font. If you keep turning the pages ना, है ये डॉक्टर कब बन गया. ओ भाई इतना खराब हैंडराइटिंग ना. मैं लास्ट में क्वेश्चन में मतलब वो पेन में पढ़ा होगा उस पर, इसको ऐसा देखना पड़ा कि लिखा क्या है इसमें. लास्ट का 2 आंसर का इतना खराब हैंडराइटिंग था ना मेरा, मतलब खतरनाक. So that is पैनिक मोड है यार. वो पैनिक मोड में सी मैंने एक चीज ना सीड के एक वीडियो में बताया था, बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है ये, बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट सीड के लिए स्पेसिफिकली. डोंट लुक एट दैट फकिंग टाइमर. वो जो टाइमर है ना सामने, इट्स अ टाइम बम एंड इट विल स्क्रू विद योर हेड. एक डिजिटल वॉच खरीद दो सब लोग. वो डिजिटल वॉच में ना टाइम को आगे बढ़ते हुए देखना. डोंट लुक एट टाइम गोइंग डाउन. इट्स साइकोलॉजिकल, इट्स वेरी साइकोलॉजिकल, बट इट हेल्प मी. वो टाइमर को ना डूबते हुए देख के ना टेंशन आता है, ओ जा रहा है टाइम, जा रहा है टाइम, जा रहा है. तो वॉच में देखोगे नहीं टाइम है, टाइम है, टाइम है. सो द माइंडसेट चेंजेस. तो मैंने एनआईडी में यही किया था. आई वाज एवरी टाइम आई वाज राइटिंग एन आंसर कंप्लीट हुआ, लुक एट द टाइम. एवरी टाइम आंसर खत्म हुआ, लुक एट द टाइम. दैट वाज सिंपल. तो यू हैव टैक कि भाई मैंने कितना टाइम. अब फॉर एग्जांपल एक क्वेश्चन है, मैंने 20 समझ के रखा था, मेरे को 25-30 मिनट लग गया वो क्वेश्चन में. सो नाउ आई नो, ओके आई फक्ड अप, नाउ लेट्स कवर अप इन द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन. सो इट्स वेरी डायनामिक. You cannot pre-plan जैसा ये ऐसा डिवाइड कर ले, ऐसा नहीं होगा. What you plan will never happen. Murphy's law. जो होना है वो हो गया. You will give time somewhere else. कुछ और आइडिया आ गया. मैंने पोस्टर में किया था. I made something. हम लोग ओह शिट इससे बेटर बन सकता है. यूएस किया, वापस बना. So then these things will happen. Then your time division will interstellar हो जाएगा वहाँ पे थोड़ा. So फिर then you'll have to dynamically. I see.
Yeah.
Thank you.
One more thing to add here, like. This watch thing will work in maybe in an idea, I don't know. if they allow, like in seat, they don't allow you to wear watch inside, I guess. At
हाँ
least for my center, they didn't allowed me.
नहीं नहीं, बॉम्बे में तो मैं लेके गया था मेरी वॉच, मस्त जी शॉक की खरीद के लेके गया था, 4,000 की नई घड़ी लेके गया था।
सीट के लिए
हाँ
हमें नहीं अलाउ किया था, क्यों?
ये क्या है, मेरे को तो अलाउ किया था।
नहीं, आई गेस सबको अलाउ नहीं किया।
सेंटर बेसिस पे था क्या ये? निपुण भी बोल रहा है
क्या
मतलब ये क्या?
so don't rely on one particular thing.
So I know my watch had okay. So मेरे वॉच जो लाइन में जो थे ना, फुल डिजिटल वॉचेस, फुल डिजिटल मतलब जिसमें पूरा डिजिटल होता है, जिसमें एनालॉग होता ही नहीं है, वो अलाउड नहीं था मेरे सेंटर में। मेरा कैसा था, इट वाज एनालॉग वॉच, नीचे छोटा सा डिजिटल इंडिकेटर था। तो उसने तो पूछा भी था वो इंडिकेटर, ये अलाउड नहीं है। हमने देखो आपको दिख रहा है कहीं पे कुछ दिख रहा है, बोला यार इसमें छोटा सा, मैं क्या करूँ, मैं कंपनी को बोलूँ कि चेंज करो, डिजिटल मत डालो, अभी खरीदा तो पहनूंगा ना। तो वो एनालॉग था, बड़ा छोटा सा डिजिटल लिखा था, तो अलाउड तो था मतलब। तो गोवा में अलाउड नहीं था भाई, बॉम्बे को अलग, इन लोगों ने प्रेफरेंस दे रखा है, यहाँ पे तो अलाउड था, एनालॉग तो अलाउड था 100%।